Hey, I don't really do these often, but I feel like I should probably um, come across something. What I've noticed, especially on the internet, especially amongst people who play games like Victoria 3, Hearts of Iron, people who are so-called military enthusiasts, a lot of them have made like wild claims, like every first year of a Russian conflict is a shit show. They lose millions of people, equipment, and blah blah blah. Or sorry, shit ton of people. But that fundamentally isn't true. If we're talking about modern Russia as it is, not the Russian Federation, but within the modern period, that's happened twice. Twice in its long list of military conflicts. Leaving out the Russian Civil War, leaving out the other conflicts attached to the Civil War, like the breakup of the Russian Empire and the reconquest of Russian imperial territories. The Winter War and World War II, Barbarossa specifically, are the only times it was shit shows. Because if we're looking past 1945, Russia has had either very quick interventions, such as that in Hungary and Czechoslovakia, or it has had long drawn out conflicts, but relatively were in control of the situation, so to speak, quote unquote, like in Afghanistan. And within its internal rebellions, sure, you have the first Chechen War, but then you have the second. I don't know where people are getting this. Russia tends to just do bad in year one. Like, that's not true. Because if we look at the Tsarist Russia history, you have the Crimean War, which before that, the Russo-Turkish War, Russo-Ottoman War, the Russians were winning, and they were winning too hard. That's why Britain and France sided with the Ottomans, and it is why they, fought back in the Crimean War and beat the Russians. You look at World War One, the Russians were actually making some pretty big advances until Tannenberg. And then after that, it was a shit show in the Eastern Front, but it was fluid, you know. But yeah, they were having a terrible time, but one of the reasons they were having a terrible time was because the Russo-Japanese War, which in the first year, Russia was getting its ass kicked, and it was getting its ass kicked throughout the whole war. If we want to go back even further, we have the Great Northern War with Charles the 11th, I think, or 12th of Sweden, kicking Peter the Great's ass, right? But that was different. Russia, in that case, wasn't the Russia that we know when we think of great resources. It was Russia that was big and expansive, a lot of population, the biggest in Europe, but it was not organized the way Peter had wanted it. So when people mostly say that Russia gets its shit kicked, then they're bringing in the Winter War and they always bring in against Nazi Germany, but they're always short on any other conflict. They'll point at a few Tsarist examples, but Russia, for most of its time, spent its time conquering the landmass it has now, much like the Americans did when they expanded west. So yeah, I'm sorry, but that is absolute bullshit. Russia tends to not lose a shit ton of people in year one. That's actually very rare, and it happened only twice in the history of Russian civilization when they're fighting a massive war, so to speak. It's only happened twice. So yeah, that's what I just wanted to say. I'm about to play Victoria, so thank you for listening to my rant.